Oh man, have you guys listened to the new song Rebecca Sugar played on the podcast called Escapism? I don't know. I have a very good feeling this is a Lapis song. We haven't had one of those before. I can't wait to talk about it on Crystal Clear.
4 to 6 weeks later.
One of the 6 new episodes dropping on the app next week is called Raising the Barn. It looks like Lapis is going to leave the planet to avoid a war. This is it. This is where we're finally going to hear Escapism.
1 week later.
Okay, so the episode came out and she didn't sing Escapism, but I bet she'll still sing the song, right? Right, guys? I didn't confidently state Lapis is singing a song that suits her mental state and character arc for no reason, right? That would make me look stupid. And I mean, we have never got anything wrong before. Oh no. Special thanks to this Crystal Clear sponsor, Quid. Quid is an exciting app where you can collect digital trading cards, stickers, and Funko Pop toys based off your favorite series, including some Cartoon Network shows. Gumball, Clarence, Regular Show, and of course, Steven Universe. These stickers and cards include your favorite crystal gems and even your favorite diamonds. Most of the cards are even based off iconic moments and characters from the series. What I adore is that you can use all the stickers you collect in everyday conversation and iMessage. Why use emojis when you can use the crystal gems? More info on Quid and its features later on in the video. Welcome back to Crystal Clear on the Roundtable. I'm AwestruckVox. Okay, so we're all copping that Steven Universe soundtrack bundle, right? That entire album is such a bop. It even gave me a new appreciation for songs like Dear Old Dad, a track no one really cared about prior. When it comes to Steven Universe, I notice a lot of the more iconic songs all have something in common. While there are a few exceptions, Stronger Than You, Here Comes the Thought, and What's the Use of Feeling Blue, I almost always see people rave about Strong in the Real Way, Do It For Her, and It's Over, isn't it? At almost every single long panel for the Lava Cloud has hosted, even the one Kelly has hosted that I was a part of. Those 3 songs are guaranteed hits the audience will vote for every time. So what's the pattern with those, you may ask? They're all predominantly Pearl songs. While Steven sings a good chunk of the melodies in the series for obvious reasons of being the lead character, Pearl comes to a close second. And hey, Rebecca Sugar clearly favors Pearl. That's not a bad thing. Yet, if Pearl isn't your favorite gem, which for me, I adore the girl, but she isn't my top 3. Her singing every other song may get a bit tiring. I mean, we're 5 seasons in. 5. Everyone should have as many songs as Pearl, yet they don't. Pearl is featured in about 9 songs accumulatively, whereas Garnet has been featured in 5 and Amethyst is in 4. Notice how I specify featured, because Garnet only has 1 song that can be considered a Garnet song, Stronger Than You, and Amethyst has 2, On the Run, which she sings with Steven, and Tower of Mistakes, which she sings on her own. Now, if you want to even the playing field, Pearl only has It's Over Isn't It in the category of songs she sings on her own, making it so all the main crystal gems have only 1 song they completely sing on their own. Peridot sings a verse in Peace and Love, so you can consider that Perry's song. But then you jump to Lapis, and she has nothing. Of course, as many of our fans have aired their grievances with by now, with the reality that Lapis's character has been extremely shattered throughout the series. Sure, they really couldn't do much of her underwater pieces Malachite, but afterwards, man, whenever we were away from the barn, she just did not exist. At least Peridot hung out with Steven and Amethyst from time to time. So when Rebecca Sugar all those months ago teased a new song on the podcast titled Escapism, fans, including us, were very quick to connect this title to Lapis. After all, escapism in itself is the avoidance of unpleasant, boring, arduous, scary, or banal aspects of daily life. It can also be used as a term to define the actions people take to help relieve persistent feelings of depression or general sadness, which I think anyone who's seen an episode of Lapis can tie it back to her. Hell, we see Lapis demonstrate escapism in multiple episodes. A common form of it is bitching television and literature. Lapis is seen choosing to watch Campaigning Hearts over and over again instead of going out on adventures. She's seen reading manga at the end of The Kindergarten Kid, but considering this was a one-off instance, I'm not going to say this was for sure her using the book as a way to escape reality. Nevertheless, she's definitely one who invests her time into the lives of fictional characters to escape her own problems. These characters, their journey, their struggles, these help Lapis just forget her situation and everything she's been through. There's also the fact Lapis doesn't necessarily like Earth. She refers to the planet as awful, despite the fact everyone else is happily residing there. Things are better now. The clutch is neutralized and there's no wars inciting. Yet, she can't forget the thousands of years of hurt, imprisonment, and losing her identity, being referred to as nothing more than a mirror, a gem artifact. These feelings of despair and resentment were reflected perfectly in the lyrics of Escapism. I guess I have to face that in this awful place, I shouldn't show a trace of doubt. This very much seems to relate to Lapis thinking the Earth is terrible. It's a miserable planet with awful memories tied to it, but she shouldn't have any doubts that this is the place she should be. Peridot was able to call this place her home, and she was in a boat very similar to Lapis, abandoning her diamond, and just felt alone and scared. She was able to embrace this place as her own, so why can't Lapis? As the lyrics continue, you would be convinced this is Lapis's grand debut in Steven Universe's lyrical aspects, but pulled against the grain, I feel a little pain that I would rather do without. When it really came down to the wire, despite what's perceived to be normal, whereas everyone else is happy to live on Earth, Lapis still feels hurt by everything that's happened. Couple that with the chorus, I'd rather be free from here, we put together a pretty sound narrative. Shaken by the idea of the diamonds coming to Earth, Lapis's true emotions towards Earth resurfaces, and she laments through the song Escapism before fleeing the planet. This would have been an impactful, short, concise introduction to Lapis's singing on the show. Unfortunately, many of us were debunked and disappointed when Racing the Barn rolled around, and the song just never came. Lapis expressed her discomfort with the situation, and despite Peridot's plea, turned tail and fled the planet, with the barn in her hand. Not hand, bubble maybe? What would you call that? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. This left fans speculating, will Lapis even sing Escapism? Perhaps something will happen where she ends back up in Homeworld's clutches and sings. Well, Cartoon Network's international plumbing problem resurfaced, and without getting into detail, we know Lapis does sing a song, but that is not Escapism. And not to be a Debbie Downer, but considering it took this long for Lapis to get a song, I doubt the Crewverse would be oh so generous to give us 2 Lapis songs so close to each other. So despite how perfect it would be for her, we can cross Lapis off the list for candidates to sing Escapism. From number 1 to no number at all. Hashtag Lapis was snubbed. Although I'm sure the song she actually sings will be pretty good. Real quick, another thanks to the sponsor of today's video, Quid, the incredible, addicting app where you can collect digital trading cards, stickers, and Funko Pop toys based off beloved series that you won't find anywhere else. Rick and Morty, Ed, Edd n Eddy, Sonic the Hedgehog, Family Guy, and more. You can plop these stickers onto your photos, upgrade your selfies with your favorite cartoons. How do you rake in all these goodies? With coins. And you get thousands of free coins every few hours just by logging in. Now these collectibles can and will sell out, but they give you a heads up on what's returning and when. But if you miss out the first time, you can also trade everything you collect with other users on the app. Perhaps somebody has what you're looking for. If not, don't worry. New stickers, cards, and toys are added every single day. We're also on the app as well. Username is AwestruckVox. Quid is available for iOS and Android. Link in the description. Now let's get back to Crystal Clear. Now that we're theorizing who else can sing Escapism, I've seen a few interesting characters being thrown around. The most interesting of the 3 are Topaz, Pink Diamond, and Stevonnie. Perhaps Topaz will return and follow up to her character's place and Stuck Together, hating her endless loops of missions and people getting in the way of her 2 components. Maybe we'll have a flashback of Pink Diamond, revealing how much she hates being in the Diamond Authority, and her role in all of this through song. Although to be honest, we don't know when we'll see Topaz again. The story hasn't given us a sound idea or reason for her to pop up again anytime soon. The idea of Stevonnie singing the song is a bit outdated now, as it was mostly tied to Jungle Moon, and the concept of them being stranded, tying into the lyrics of wanting to be free, although that last one was the flimsiest. Simply due to the opening lyric of, I shouldn't show a trace of doubt. That doesn't make much sense if they were surrounded by aliens with no way home. If that's the case, doubt, show plenty of doubt. Let's not act aloof any longer. If it's not any of those 3 and it's not Lapis, it's very likely Pearl is the one who will perform Escapism. In the proper context with the proper setup, it makes the most sense out of anyone. Again, Pearl already has the most songs out of any gem in the show, so her snagging another hit is kinda tiring. That's not to say I would want another character to sing it just for the sake of having anyone but Pearl perform the song. Musical moments in the show are so few and far between, and with the exception of a few songs in Mr. Greg, as it was a musical episode, they're used to demonstrate a character's mental state and place in life. Escapism's lyrics definitely don't just fit any character in the series. You may be thinking, how on earth does this apply to Pearl? She's fine. She's living on a poppin' planet, got the number of a pink-haired punk cutie. Life is good for her. Yeah, but that obviously wasn't always the case. Remember, Pearl is the crystal gem we know the least about. We know the origins of Amethyst, of Garnet, but not Pearl. And Gemcation actually drew attention to this with everyone calling Pearl out to talk to Steven, stating that Steven is aware she has the knowledge of space stuff, of the diamonds that the others lack. Pearl definitely has an intense, deep history that the show has refrained from diving into. However, that ends very soon. As we touched on before, we had confirmation from Rose's voice actress, Susan Egan, that we'd be seeing Pearl and Rose's origins very soon. And going off from studio photos, we are definitely getting that this season. And considering Susan Egan appeared in 2 sessions back to back, it's very likely this may be a half-hour special. What would be better icing on the cake for this special than a musical number? Pearl was referred to as defective by Jasper all the way back in The Return. And considering Jasper never met Rose Quartz during the Gem War, it's likely she never crossed paths with Pearl either. Meaning Pearl's departure from Homeworld was a well-known thing that echoed throughout Gemkind, likely because she served a diamond. At this point, I really do believe it was, at least initially, White Diamond Pearl served. I'm inclined to believe Pearl was never happy serving Homeworld, even though she was made like any other Pearl. To her, Homeworld was an awful place that even though she shouldn't have any doubts about, she resented. There's a reason Pearl has such an intense passion and allegiance towards Rose Quartz. She liberated her from a life she never wanted in the first place. Ideally, escapism suits Pearl to a T. Realistically, this is her song. Again, there's no doubt Rebecca Sugar favors Pearl. That is definitely that woman's favorite main character. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. But despite having absolutely nothing on her backstory, Pearl definitely has the most spotlight between the 3 main gems. Think of how many Amethyst or Garnet episodes are out there. Then compare it to how many Pearl episodes are out there. Or even in episodes about the gems going on adventures or Steven learning about the world around him, how often is Pearl the one explaining things? Also, in the past when Sugar has performed an upcoming song, it typically debuts on the show within the next batch of episodes. Usually it's the next song to pop up in the show. However, Escapism is a different story. We've had The Working Dead pop up after Escapism was revealed on the podcast, and we know there's a separate Lapis song on the way. So Escapism seems to be further in the season. Yet, that was the one Sugar selected to perform, not just on the podcast, but at New York Comic Con in 2017. Clearly, it's a song from an episode she's very excited about. What would get her more excited than Pearl development? The cards are in Pearl's favor. You win again, Pearl. You win again. Yeah, it's looking pretty likely that this is Pearl's song, and we just have to deal with it. But as always, these are just my thoughts, and I'd love to hear yours. Who do you think sings Escapism? Do you think Pearl has too much spotlight in the series? Let us know what you think in the comments below, or tweet them to me at AwestruckVox, or at the Roundtable at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Roundtable Vids. If you enjoyed this video, please sort of like, share, and if you're new here, subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications to stay in the loop with all things Steven. Swing by our store and check out our Steven Universe inspired designs. I hope you have a beautiful day, and AwestruckVox signing out.